Our instruments are showing that we have a incoming message from deep space. Houston, we have an incoming message from deep space. Houston, we'll begin playing message now. Houston, we're going to try and translate that up here. Hold for translation. Translation complete. We'll begin playing message now.
Hey, it's me, Melissa.
What do you do when the aliens invade? Take a shot of MK Ultra and watch Melissa Jade. Put on your tinfoil hat and tune right in. We got that crime spree, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, a complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what it all bends understanding. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Aliens is on the sun, or in Area 51. Time travels, unravels, haunted castles, cops are baffled, potential experimental thoughts that make you transcendental. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Crime sprees, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what it all bends understanding. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa.
Hi, guys. How are you? Welcome. We are going early, and I'm not going to be able to stay long, and I apologize. Unexpected change of plans in my schedule today, but I didn't want to cancel. I figured, you know what? Let me come on and even do a short and sweet one versus not coming on at all. So I apologize for the inconvenience, but we're still going to do something, right? So that counts for something, or at least that's what I'm telling myself. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, Tony. Hi, Nay. Adrian, my snot rocket. Kate, Donna. We have Lisa, Meat Feeds, Harlot, People Meh. Kate, Beat Crumbs. Tony. Cheryl. Hi, guys. How are you? I'm not even gonna, well, I don't want to say waste time saying too many hellos because it's never wasting time, but I don't have too much time. So we're going to just jump right into it. Hi, Queen of Hearts, as I continue to say hi. I feel bad if I don't say hi. But happy Friday. The weekend is here. I will give you the heads up now. I will be doing episode 4 Sunday evening. So you can keep an eye out for that and know what to expect. So I will not be on tomorrow. Tomorrow's family time. But morning, all with love from Canada. Good morning, we the people. Hi, Shell. So, but what I will be doing is working on those 3 short uploads from now until then for whatever documents we went over for episode 1, 2, and then today. So from now until then, that is what I will do because I could do pre-records. So with that being said, hi, Akasha. Thanks, Meat Feets. The couple of documents that I pulled that I want to go over for today's episode. The first one I want to do is just Letecia's text. Okay. Hi, Skylab. Letecia's text. Okay. So the interesting, listen, everything about this case is interesting, but what part is really fascinating for me with Letecia is when the shift happened. And if you don't know what the shift is when she first originally reported Gannon as a runaway. And then all of a sudden, she picks Al up. She has to explain to Al why she has a rental car. She tells Al, "Oh, I parked the Tiguan at the elementary." Can you imagine? Like, let's just for a moment here. Hi, KPM. Let's just for a moment here imagine your wife picks you up from the airport and your child is missing. Except she doesn't pick you up in her vehicle, in your guy's vehicle. She picks you up in a rental. And you say, "Yo, where's our car?" And she's like, "Well, I didn't want to put miles on it because I know we were going to be driving around looking. So I am paying every day, probably even more than I would be if I go over for additional miles with our car. And so I parked our Tiguan not even at our home. I parked our car at the elementary school. But come on, get in. Let's go find Gannon." The fact that Al immediately didn't find this suspicious, maybe he did internally. I don't know. But this is ultimately what led to Al breaking down, and you'll see this in the documents. But he didn't initially, and he didn't, and I'm getting loud already, sorry. But he didn't even disclose this to investigators. He didn't even tell them. He lied, basically. But this is ultimately what got him to crack. But going back to the shift. Hi, Amy Elizabeth. Welcome. We're happy to have you with us. And hey, Shakto. Hey, guys. So the shift is once Al got home and she's like, "Oh, yeah, no. The Tiguan is parked at the school. Never mind that. Come on. Just get in the rental." And once investigators are at the house and they're doing the walkthrough and Letecia's following close by, there is a shift that happens. And the shift that happens is a guilty conscience. And when you have a guilty conscience, a lot of times you overcompensate. And when I say that Letecia overcompensates, she overcompensates. Kind of like if you cheat on someone, right? And then you just get home from cheating on them. And then you text your significant other and they don't text right back or something. All of a sudden you get that guilty conscience, right? Shit, do they know? And it's like, yo, what's good? And so you start to call them, right? Like, oh my God, they know. They're not answering me. They know. And so you start to call them and blow them up because you're overcompensating because you, in your mind, know what you did. And so it's that seed of doubt that they know. Exactly, Shakto. It's that paranoia. So can you imagine that on a massive, I brutally killed my stepson scale? And I'm a crazy ass bitch scale. Yada, 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 Adrian. So, hi, Luna. That's the shift I'm referring to with Letecia, because there is a shift where she goes from reporting him as a runaway, and it's a very quick shift, to holy shit, and I apologize for the cursing, but holy shit, fasten your seatbelts because we're going on a ride. We're going on 9 months, fake 9-month pregnant belly filled with cash. Edgar Allan Poe, Eduardo, like picking up, on the side of the road construction workers with, for the carpet, being sexually assaulted, like vampires and just crazy things. And the text messages between her and the detectives. So that's the first document I want to pull up, because that's the shift that I'm really interested in, because it's unlike anything I've really ever seen before. Every case is really unique, and it's very, and I don't like to use the word fascinating, because of course these are horrific cases, and it's not entertainment, but I do have a fascination with true crime. I think a lot of us do. That's why we're here. And I have a fascination with how the mind works and the psychology behind it. And so to observe the human behavior in situations like this, it's very it's unique, and you don't have many opportunities to observe that type of stuff. So to see Letecia do what she did and observe her in such great detail during this time, now that we know in hindsight what she had done, and to watch her make these moves horrible decisions, it's so fascinating. Hey, JD Wells, it's so good to see you. Okay, drive safe, meet feats. All right, so again, I don't want to talk too much. I'm like, Melissa, shut up. I don't have too much time. I have like 30 minutes. So let's get into it. Mine too, Harlot. I agree. Hi, Black Swan. Right, Amy Elizabeth? This case, I don't think I'll ever move on from. This case, I followed it from day one, and it's always going to hit me differently. But Letecia, again, not, she's just a different type of killer. And the things that she did makes it so unique and unlike other cases. She is a study in evil. That's a great way to put it, Skylab. Okay. So this document, it says on Wednesday, January 29th. Okay. So this is only a few days, maybe a week, a little over a week. After Gannon's disappearance, now we know no murder. Detective Bethel assisted with an investigation of Gannon. And it says at approximately 2:08 a.m. Okay, so again, here's that paranoid brain. You have to look at the times and stuff. 2:08 a.m. Letecia began texting the detective. Why on earth? That kind of reminds me a little bit of NK. We also saw that with NK in the Watts case, texting in the early morning hours also. That's not appropriate. There is absolutely no reason why you can't wait until the following morning at an appropriate time to text the detectives. But it could show that Letecia was not sleeping. Letecia was in a state of paranoia, and her mind was going. So she began texting the detective at 2:08 a.m. until 2:54 a.m. So between 2 and 3 in the morning. And the text messages were photographed and entered into evidence. The following is the text message conversation between Letecia and the detective. Letecia will be indicated with the letter L, and I will be indicated with the letter B. And you will see how few texts in comparison to Letecia's text the detective writes. Probably because the detective is in bed next to their spouse or whoever with one eye open sleeping, okay? So it says, Letecia, 2:08 a.m. Can we talk soon? 2:08 a.m. again. I appreciate all your hard work. Letecia, 2:11 a.m. So, okay, the reason why I feel necessary to read the times, we all know when you're texting, 3 minutes is actually a long time to sit there with your phone open and wait for a response. So the fact that Letecia sends a text at 2:08 a.m., can we talk soon? And then another one at 2:08, I appreciate all your hard work. She waits 3 minutes. 3 minutes is a long time sitting there with your phone open without a response. So that tells me she sat there and she waited, and she, in her mind, was probably getting paranoid that the detective didn't respond back. Meanwhile, it's after 2 a.m. The detective's most likely sleeping. Okay, she has to be up in a few hours. Hi, Musicity Mom. So 3 minutes later at 2:11 a.m., Letecia writes, I have information. Oh, okay. I see what you just did there. I see what you just did there. Do you guys see what she did? She's trying to entice the detective to respond back to her by saying she has information. Meanwhile, right, Pebbles, she's trying to bait the detective. Meanwhile, only 3 minutes have passed. But again, if you sit there with your phone open, 3 minutes can feel like a long time when you're paranoid. When you're paranoid. So she's thinking, the detective's not answering me. I have to bait the detective. So she says, I have information. Then she writes at 2:11 again, Gannon was upset about the candle. I didn't know that he had cut himself with it. 2:11 a.m. again. Because he had on a blue undershirt and a long sleeves. Then 2:12. And he had a small burn area. Again at 2:12. I did too. Then 2 minutes after that, at 2:14. When we came back inside from the smoke, there was blood on both of us. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I would get fussed out. And I didn't know if he should go to the doctor. I kept trying to add the candle thing, but Gannon kept saying it was small and minor. I was scared the basement was smoky, and when I threw the covers on everything, we both had blood. $2.14. You don't understand how hard it is to be a stepmom. $2.14. I get judged for everything, and he was scared for being ground. $2.15. So then the next day, $2.15. This is where I need to talk to you. Then finally, Detective Bethel responds, okay, can you come in to talk? So look at all of those messages she just sent to the detective after 2 a.m. during the active investigation of her missing stepson. Now it's interesting looking at this because we know she's the killer, but at this time, they didn't. They could have suspected it, but they didn't. So it's so interesting to see how stupid are you? You're telling them you're guilty by doing this type of stuff. She did text out like this too. You're right, Cheryl. Skylab. Hi, Nika. It is Harlot, right? You picked that up too. It's an interesting spot to start talking about how hard it is to be a stepmom. Yep. And so you can see the paranoia. You can see the overcompensation. You can see the shift. You can see she doesn't know what they know. And she doesn't know what she has to give. Does she have to account for blood? Does she not have to account for blood? Well, like, what does she have to do? Because they're not communicating to her what they know. And so she has to guess, right? And this is a lot of times where people screw up. I think they call it the read technique too, when they bring multiple people who are involved in a crime into interrogation, like they did with Nick and Gypsy, and they separate them, and they specifically do that, and they turn them around on one another, and they say, oh, well, Gypsy told me everything. Gypsy told me everything, and they will not let them communicate to one another because Nick doesn't know if Gypsy told her everything. And so Nick is put in the position where, well, you either have to not believe them and stand solid and hope Gypsy didn't say anything, or you have to be the first one to get it out and hope to get like a plea deal. Like there's these techniques that they use. And so like you're put in this position where you don't know what they know yet. And so you have like this moment of opportunity to get out ahead of it and to account for it. You know what I mean? Oh, thanks, Jessica. Bree, welcome. We're happy to have you for a live. Sorry it's going to be a short one today, but we're very happy to have you with us. Hey, Chopper. So, again, can we talk soon? I appreciate all your hard work. I have information. Gannon was upset about the candle. I didn't know that he had cut himself with it because he had on a blue undershirt and long sleeves, and he had a small burn area. I did too. When we came back inside from the smoke, there was blood on both of us. I didn't know what to do. I was scared I would get fussed out about it, and I didn't know if he should go to the doctor. I kept trying to add the candle thing, but Gannon kept saying it was small and minor. I was scared the basement was smoky, and when I threw the covers on everything, we both had blood. You just don't understand how hard it is to be a stepmom. I get judged for everything, and he was scared for being ground. So then the next day, this is where I need to talk to you. Then Bethel says, okay, can you come in to talk? And so you can see there's grammatical errors in there and typos and stuff. I'm reading it as she wrote it. But notice how she even shifts the blame on Gannon in there. Gannon kept saying it was small and minor. Excuse me, you are the parent or the parent figure in this situation. You are the adult. And notice how she is introducing the injuries. She is introducing the injuries. She is introducing blood. She is also making sure to include, I was burned too. I was bleeding too. We both had blood to minimize Gannon's injuries. Hey, Mia. But she shifts the blame on, I would have gone to get him checked out, except Gannon kept saying it was minor and small. Gannon was 11. A child does not have the capabilities to make those decisions, but I don't believe he did anyway. I scream naturally, Patsy, so I just scream in general, so I'm always screaming. So Bethel says, okay, can you come in to talk? 2:15 a.m. Letecia, 2:15 a.m. Yes, I'm sorry. I wasn't ever hiding anything from you. You don't understand the pressure I get put under not doing enough. 2 minutes later. Again, 2 minutes is a long time to pass in silence, like waiting for a text message. And she is overcompensating. So the moment she doesn't hear right back from the detective, she has to send that text. She has to send another one. So 2:17 a.m. Could you trust in me and let me meet you in the morning? I am so tired. I still haven't slept. Oh, I believe that. Then 3 minutes pass after that. This bitch sends a question mark. This woman sends a question mark to the detective for not responding fast enough, as if she is texting a friend like, yo, are we meeting up? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Are you there? This is the detective that you are texting at 2:20 a.m. in the middle of the night. Maybe they're not responding back right away because they be asleep, yo. But she actually sends that question mark like, excuse me, how dare you not immediately respond to my manic texting in the middle of the night? Do your job. And so Bethel responds a minute later, we can talk in the morning. Is there anything I should know since we are still looking tonight? Letecia responds back, I did not hurt Gannon. I did not put him in harm's way. See, again, let's for a second even play devil's advocate here and entertain Letecia's story being true. Hey, Malibu Surfer. I know, right, Patsy? Let's even entertain for a moment that Letecia's story is true, right? And he was abducted and taken. If that were true, you still wouldn't be responding the way you're responding. It would be, yes, you should know X, Y, and Z. Your focus wouldn't be that you didn't hurt him, you didn't do anything. The focus would still to be to get that information out to the appropriate people to make sure that Gannon could be found. Because once Gannon was found, it would be obvious you weren't the one who did this, right? Hey, Clicker. I know, Cheryl. And that's what is frustrating, is that we won't ever have the full story. We don't know what object was used with Gannon. We don't know the order that the killing happened in. God, she used every possible method of killing. It was horrific. I know Pebbles, right? Usually Pebbles goes back and forth with me on stuff, but she's like, it's just too damn early for Letecia this morning. Such an obvious guilty conscience. I don't know how she wouldn't realize these texts in the middle of the night are suspicious. That's what I'm saying. She clearly has not slept. She is in a manic episode. Even if you listen to her current calls, which Alex Erickson has been playing over on her channel, it does not even sound like her. I've played a couple of calls on Hey MK. I played a couple of calls on my channel too, and I seriously struggled believing it was her. It does not sound like her because she is very calm, very dare I say normal sounding, versus in comparison, hey Violetta, in comparison to when we hear her on when we watch the footage of the cops originally going to their home, the body cam footage, when she reports Gannon as a runaway and she's in that windbreaker and she's taking them through the house and she's saying she's really good at fashion and she's manic and she's all over the place. I don't know if it was just being in a manic state, being that she just committed a brutal murder and she's hiding the body and that body is literally inside the house when the cops are looking. If she was under medication, whether it was a mix of all of that, I don't know. but she was not in a clear state of mind during this point. But it's a sharp contrast to how she sounds now. I'm so fashion. Yes, Kathy. She literally says, I'm so fashion. Oh, God. Yes, Skylab. Yes. Okay. So she says, I did not hurt Gannon. I did not put him in harm's way. Bethel says, is he hurt? So you see that technique? Okay, you didn't hurt him. But is he hurt? Letecia, who is on top of, look at the times, who has been on top of messaging back at the same minute. This is the first time 2 minutes passed before Letecia responds. And Letecia responds back 2 minutes later. I don't think he is, but I am keeping faith. Well, she says, I don't think he is, but I am keep faith. And then says keeping. Okay. Then 2 minutes later, because again, no response. Hold on. Let me throw another text message at you. 2:25 a.m. Letecia says, but I really need your help to make sure everyone knows I would never hurt him and did not in any way. I'm sorry. You really need this detective's help to make sure that the world knows that Letecia would never hurt Gannon? Wouldn't it be, I really need the detective's help to make sure Gannon is found, that Gannon is safe? Again, even if we played devil's advocate here, this is where Letecia's a freaking idiot. Letecia, let's play devil's advocate. Let's look at these texts as if your stories, but let's say one of your story was true. Your texts are not accurate, even if you were messaging as if that information was true. And sorry, I worded that weirdly, but these are not the text messages we would anticipate to see, even if that information were true. Good, KPM. I love it. Right, Malibu Surfer. So if she's just so bad, like she has no self-awareness whatsoever. It is not the detective's job to be your PR, like it's not the detective's job. Hold on, let me make sure that the world's perception of Letecia is good. It's the detective's job to make sure that Gannon is found, ideally safe and healthy and alive. But she says, I really need your help to make sure everyone knows I would never hurt him and did not in any way. 3 minutes later, Detective Bethel writes back, what time can you come in today after you sleep? Again, now all of a sudden, 3 minutes later, everything was fine and dandy when Letecia was in control. But as the hard topics are brought up and Letecia starts lying, Letecia now all of a sudden is taking a little bit with her responses as far as time. She's taking a little bit of time with her responses. Hi, sis. So 2:31, Letecia responds, And keep in mind, Bethel asks, what time can you come in after you sleep? Letecia's the one who asked to come in. So what time can you come in? Letecia responds, I don't want you upset with me for all your hard work and everyone else's. And I ask that you please protect our house and us from anyone that may be dangerous too for me giving extra info. And then the next text, to us, because she keeps making typos. So I don't want you upset with me for all your hard work and everyone else's. And I ask that you please protect our house and us from anyone that may be dangerous to us for me giving extra info. Oh, thank you, Miss M. And then she says, as soon as I wake up, bitch. Oh, sorry. I'm trying not to curse as much, but it's really hard with Letecia. Okay. The detective is asking you, what time can you come in for a formal interview? You saying, as soon as I wake up, and it's already 2:30 in the morning? Yeah, no shit as soon as you wake up. But do you think they could just like, oh, I as soon as you wake up, all right, see you then. They need to know when to expect you. Is that going to be 8 in the morning? Is that going to be noon? Is that going to be 4? They're asking you what time. What do you think? They are out searching for this 11-year-old child. It is already 2:30 in the morning. What time do you want to come in for your formal interview that you are asking to come in for? So I know to be in the office and prepared, because there is a protocol, a process that we do when we do these interviews. And we'll be ready to go. When I wake up, oh, okay. I'll see you then. Like, oh my God. She just doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. So then Bethel asks, what information do you have? I can't protect anyone from anything if I don't know what it is. And then Bethel says, come in at 10 a.m. at the OTS 27 East Vermijo Avenue. Because again, bitch, we ain't gonna do this as soon as I wake up. We are law enforcement. This is not as soon as Letecia wakes up, you can just stroll on in here. So I'm telling you, 10 a.m. Unbelievable. Then Letecia says, can you please not get for... Letecia says, okay, I will be there. Then 6 minutes later, okay? So it ends 2:35. Okay, I will see you at 10 a.m. That's it. They should go to bed. It's 2:35 in the morning. But then here's Letecia again, her paranoid, manic mind, overcompensating. A whole 6 minutes later, Letecia texts back, can you please not get me for not giving all details that I knew to you at first? I know people do it a lot and it gets frustrating at you, but I'm a victim as well, and I didn't want to be forced to take a test at some doctor's office. And when she says get me, she's referring to, can you not press charges? Oh, Letecia. The fact that you even thought your bullshit story was ever going to be bought, and the only thing you would have to worry about was charges for not reporting information, is really, really indicative of your intelligence, number one. Number two, not once did you even try to pretend that you ever cared about Gannon's well-being. It is all you, and you're a victim. You could have at least put on a performance. But you want to know what this tells me, guys, which I already knew? She resented and despised Gannon so much that even in his death, she couldn't even pretend to care. Let that sink in. She resented this little baby, this 11-year-old boy, so much that she could not even act when it came to her own life being on the line. She could not even pretend that she cared. So Bethel says we could talk more about it in the morning when you come in. She says we could talk about that when you come in. 3 minutes later, Letecia says, do you have to release personal info to the media and online? Like, as in with me? Say, for example, a friend of mine had an abusive spouse, so she had to cover up everything, asking for a friend. Bethel says, I don't release information. Oh, so asking for a friend. Bitch, you're not asking for a friend. You are asking for you. Number two, you're asking, hey, is my bullshit story going to get put out there? Are all of my lies going to get put out there, or am I good? Letecia says, as in, say she is working, but is off having quiet time. Letecia says, okay, thank you. My husband wouldn't have ever looked at me the same knowing what happened to me, and I couldn't tell you in front of him. And I know he would act in a violent manner. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Oh, I mean today. Bethel says, okay, see you soon. We will talk later. Please get some sleep. Then Letecia says, and so I don't forget, let me add this on here so I can remember to tell you. Gannon and I were working together. Oh, I'm sorry. Al and I were working together because Al always works. So I will explain things that you may have had concerns about. But we were and had a plan because even though she wasn't... Hold on. And so I don't forget, let me add this on here so I could remember to tell you. Oh, Landon and I were working together because Al always works. So I will explain things that you may have had concerns about. But we were and had a plan because even though she wasn't the best, it was more that what Al did because he was working or sleeping and didn't spend any time with them. That's what it says. Sorry. Then Letecia says, KK. And it says, the conversation concluded until that morning. The conversation with Letecia later that morning prior to her interview will be documented in a separate supplement. The investigation, which continued for several weeks, will continue to be documented in additional supplements. And I will go over that interview Sunday night for episode 4. And again, I apologize. I don't have time to go through that next document. I have to do like a quick one today. But something came up. But yeah, let that sink in. Between 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning. Hi, Star Rivera. Between 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning, this is what she is texting a damn detective right after she brutally kills her stepchild, but while at the same time trying to pretend that she's innocent. She wasn't even good at it. Every single time Letecia opens her mouth, the only thing she is expressing is concern for herself. That is it. And at least most people would be able to pretend and act like they give a shit. Letecia isn't even capable of that, which really is haunting and disturbing, because I think that really is indicative of how much she resented that child. And that last message about her and Landon working together, we heard about that because she mentioned that. She mentioned that she was working with Landon to try to get the kids in Landon's custody again. We've heard Letecia say that in her interviews. Skylove. That's funny. She's disturbing beyond belief. Disturbing beyond belief. Oh, man. And so for episode 4, we'll continue off from these text messages where Letecia comes in that next morning for the actual interview. And like I said, the shift. So I want to focus on the shift, and I want to pull up all of the documents where Letecia starts to change her story on a daily basis, and all of the ludicrous, absurd things that she claims happened to her. So that's what we're going to be focusing on for the next, God, I want to say like 2 episodes is her crazy stories, but she's had so many that I don't know if it's going to even be episode 4 and 5. It might be the 6th episode too. It depends how much we could put in the next 2 episodes. But the next 2 episodes are going to be her stories. And so I'm going to pull up all the documents that are regarding that. She did, V. Oakley. Yeah. She did, Katie. Yeah, Kathy. She did. But all right, guys, I have to hop off. I have to go grab my daughter, but I apologize that it was a short and quick one. Like I said, I will be on Sunday night to do episode 4. But from now and then, hey, Allie. But from now and then, I'll upload the 3 episodes of short pre-records of all of the documents that we have gone over for the first 3 episodes. But other than that, episode 4, we will continue where we left off for Letecia's interview for when she went in with Detective Bethel after they spoke in this text message chain. Thank you for being so understanding. I'm sorry for the last minute change of plans, but I hope you all have an amazing weekend. Thank you all so much for being here with me. Oh, TKK, thanks for all your content. Y'all make working 65 hours a week early. Oh, you gone with your bad self, DKK. Good for you. Thanks, MK. And so, yeah, no, thank you all so much for being here with me. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And I will see you all Sunday evening. And keep an eye out for the pre-records that are going to be uploading throughout the weekend. And so have an amazing Friday. And I will talk to you all soon.